Susan Wheeler. I am the family nurse practitioner, aesthetics injector, and owner here at Lush Aesthetics. I started Lush 3 years ago. I wanted a safe and comfortable atmosphere for all of your aesthetic needs, and being a Georgetown native myself, I'm so glad that I get to serve this community. I absolutely love to have people leave feeling confident about themselves, which is why my passion is so driven in aesthetics. So I was just jumping on here to say welcome to our live event. Make sure you guys stay until the very end of this event because we are going to be doing the live Q&A. You will have up on the chat box, be able to ask any question that you may have, and I'll be able to answer that for you. Another thing I wanted to throw at you guys is that RHA is doing a sweepstakes. So as long as you get your filler completed by May 27th, you get entered into the sweepstakes to win one of 120 Chanel clutches valued at $1,200. What brought RHA into my practice was the results that I was seeing with that filler. So I absolutely love the way that it lays on people in multiple areas: the cheeks, the lines, the folds, the lips. Basically everywhere that I was laying this filler when I was doing my demo was very, very soft and natural, and I just fell in love with it. What sets RHA apart from other fillers to me is that it's very dynamic. So I really love, once it's laid in that area of the face, how it moves with motion. So it looks very natural, even with expression. I also like how I am able to use less product to achieve better results. So I can actually lay it very superficial for those little lines and some other things that need me to go very superficial. And because of that, I have more product to use in other areas. The areas that I like laying RHA filler the best is the cheeks. So as you can see in this diagram, when we're in our mid-30s, our fat pads are already starting to break apart. A lot of people in their mid-30s, their cheek volume is still great, so we focus more on the lips to augment those, as well as a little bit on the nasolabial folds. And then as we moved into our mid-40s, you can definitely see how not only are those fat pads dropping, but they're losing volume. So this is a great time to get those cheeks filled. That way it takes off pressure from the nasolabial folds, as well as helps the tiredness we're starting to see around the eyes. And then in our mid-50s, you can definitely see significant fat loss, and then you can see where all of that fat draws down, and that's why we get all of this lax tissue and these gels, and then we get the tired eye look. So yet again, the cheeks is awesome for this area, but even tacking on some filler to the nasolabial folds, the marionettes, the mental crease, and the lips would be awesome for this patient. So who is a candidate for filler? Pretty much anyone. There are some things that make you not a candidate, which is why we always offer complimentary consultations. When you come in, you do a full medical history, and I look over that to make sure that you're healthy and you're a good candidate for it. And then we have a discussion based on your goals. So when you sit in this chair, I'm going to ask you what your goals are for your face. And based off of that, I develop an understanding of where we need to treat. So I discuss with you and educate you on those areas, and then we decide together what your treatment plan is. All of our treatment plans are very individualized. They are definitely not a one for all. So each person has their own specific treatment plan to achieve the goals they're looking for. So when you expect to see your results is pretty much instantaneously. As soon as I'm done, you're able to see what I like to say is about 80% of your results. The filler hasn't settled yet and there's some swelling involved, but you can make out what results you're getting. That's why I love HA filler. You're able to see that right away. One of my favorite things about giving filler to a patient is handing them that mirror at the very end and letting them see that, because that look on their face is just priceless. And then as far as recovery time, it does take about 2 to 3 weeks to see the rest of that, 20% of results. We just have a little bit of swelling right after the treatment is complete, as well as there's some more superficial filler. So we want that all to settle and your recovery to take place, which is about 2 to 3 weeks to see those results. So I'm going to hand you this mirror and you kind of tell me what your goals are.
Okay, I don't like these lines right here at all.
Okay.
And then this right here, I've always heard it was called smokers from smoking, but I've never smoked, but I still have them. I'm real self-conscious about those. Especially when you have foundation on, it really makes them...
Runs in the creases.
Yeah. So that's what a couple of the things I'd like to fix.
Okay. Yeah, I hear that a lot. Most of my clients that have that issue, honestly, they have never smoked before either.
Right.
Very, very genetic.
Right.
So the way that we would start with you is I would actually start with the cheeks. If you look in the mirror, when I pull that up, you can already see the pressure that it takes off of those little smile lines. And that's because our fat pads just start breaking apart in our 30s and then they just keep dropping.
Right.
So we have a deficit here and then we have excess down here.
Okay.
And that's where you get all that laxity.
Okay.
So pulling that back up with
Right.
cheek filler will help those little lines.
Okay.
And then we'll actually go straight in to those lines with a very thin RHA 2.
Okay.
So that we can go very superficial, because those aren't deep lines. Those
Right.
are very superficial.
Right.
We have to go right underneath the skin.
Okay.
We're also going to go right in the border of the lips, because actually those, what we call smoker lines, they actually start right at the border. So we want to rebuild the border of the lips to help secure that area.
Okay, that'd be great. That sounds really good.
Awesome. So there's 3 types of consistencies that we are going to use today. The first one is RHA 4. RHA 4 is a more robust filler, so it's great for the cheeks area. So that is actually what we're going to do on Dana today. We're going to do a syringe on this cheek and a syringe on that cheek, because she's very symmetrical, so doing a symmetric dose for both sides will work perfect for her. If she was more thin skinned, we could actually drop that down to RHA 3. That's another thing that I love about RHA is the way that I can move those consistencies around. If she actually had very deep nasolabial folds, which are what we see around the nose, we could actually use RHA 4 in that area too. I've done that before as well. So then when we move, because I always want to start with the top, because once we fix the cheek area, a lot of the lower face is actually going to be fixed as well. So we're going to do that first. That way we see the correction in the lower face, and then we use less filler. And then we're going to tack on her first concern, which was those smile lines. So with that, we're going to use RHA 3. We're going to just knock out the rest of those smile lines, as well as a little bit through here, known as the marionettes, just to make sure that we have a good foundation there to keep her smile picked up. And then a little bit in the mental crease if we have some left over, which is right through here. And then last but certainly not least, we're going to use RHA 2. It's a thinner filler, so it's very good for that thinner tissue like the lips. So we're going to do some in the lip area as well as the lip border, and then we're also going to use it very superficially to what she was saying were her smoker lines or non-smoker lines. So, but yeah, you're going to get to see all 3 today. Right now we're going directly into those smile lines to help push that out. You can already see that you barely see them anymore. And then we're just gonna go a little bit under the border of the lower lip in the corner to make sure there's just a little bit of foundation there. Have your foundation to keep that smile upward. This is the mental crease, so this is just this little crease that happens through time that's right on the top part of the chin. So we're just basically filling it back in. That looks so good.
Wow, I've never
So
liked
yeah, we
that.
have those little things, and then those. But look at the chin.
Wow.
The difference.
That's made a big difference.
Yep.
That's awesome.
So now we're going to use RHA 2 in the lower face, just in the lip as well as the border and around the border. RHA 2 is actually the stretchiest filler, so it's perfect for that area because that area gets moved around so much from talking and chewing and drinking. So the stretch definitely helps it move with that motion. So we've actually just finished half of her face. I really wanted to highlight the before and after, so we finished this side first before we moved on to the other side. So starting first, we worked on the cheeks. That way we could pull everything up from the bottom and use less filler in the lower face. So you can see where we restored this volume where there was a deficit over here. And that not only pulled up the tissue from the lower face, but it actually made her eye look a lot brighter, which was not something that we, was a goal of hers, but we actually got that benefit with the filler. So you can see where it still is kind of pulled down in this area and where it's nice and perky up here. And then we moved down with RHA 3 and we tackled kind of the harsher lines of the lower face, her smile lines in particular. And then we pulled a little bit, just a tad underneath the corner of her lip to restore some foundation, just to keep that smile nice and perky. And you can actually see where there's a nice little pickup where over here it's more flatter. And then we finished off by putting it in the mental crease. So you can see where this is restored and there's still a deeper crease in this area. And that's actually a benefit that she didn't realize with filler. Then we moved to RHA 2, which was for thinner tissue because it's a thinner filler. So we actually put that in the lips. She did not want big, huge lips, so we really just wanted to focus on restoring the lost collagen to that area. So you can see where it's nice and voluminous for her age, and then how over here there's still some deficit. We also tackled some of those little what she called smoker lines, and over here you can still see we're going to work on that. But we finished off with RHA 2 by restoring the philtrum column. So you can see right here where there's no column, and you can see where that cupid's bow is way flatter over here, where over here it's picked back up, giving a more youthful appearance. Look at that.
Wow.
Isn't it crazy?
Yes. That looks so good.
I know.
Wow. I'm really excited. I really am.
I know.
That looks
so
awesome.
good.
It does.
Like, look at
I can't
even
believe
around
this.
here, how all that's so smooth now.
Oh, that looks so good.
Mm-hmm.
I'm really happy with it. I really am.
So we have just finished here. Now she's got both sides complete. We actually used a total of 5 syringes today to achieve the full face transformation. So I always stress to people that typically you want to do at least 3 syringes to get that full face correction. Just seeing from this little diagram here, a lot of people are worried that they're like, oh, that's a lot, or even that 2 syringes in the cheeks is a lot. But you can see this is one syringe, and this is a teaspoon. So this is a very small amount of filler. You're not getting these big, crazy looking cheeks. A lot of people will see that on the internet, and usually those are like cheek implants or something more serious, but this is not that serious. Even in my own cheeks, I do 3 syringes. Actually, my cheeks do 1.5, 1.5. So with her, we did 1 and 1, and then we achieved the lower face with the other 3 syringes.
I've been coming here to Lush for a year, just getting Botox every 3 months and my vitamin shots once a week. But about once a month, I was asking Jasmine about the filler, especially about the lines above my lips and then the small lines right here. And she told me I was a perfect candidate to get filler this product. So, and after today, I'm so happy with the results, and Jasmine's perfect at what she does, and I'm just really happy and glad that I went on and got it done.
So thank you guys for attending our live event. We are now headed into our live Q&A. This will take about 10 minutes long, but make sure you put a question in the chat box so that I can answer it. I wanted to remind everyone about our special for tonight. So just remember that it is buy 2 or more syringes of cheek filler, and I will throw in the lips. Again, the first 3 people will get that European Lush facial on the house. This offer is good for a full week, and remember, this is a perfect gift for Mother's Day. Everyone will receive a text message. Remember to respond yes if you are interested in the special, and we will get back with you and get you booked within 24 hours. See you at the live Q&A.